I heard that you started watching drag racing on the internet.
Well, there's the one that got me.
Yeah.
You know, we were thinking about it. My kid was asking me and stuff, and then we started thinking real hard about it. And then somebody says to me, I think it was 2 years ago, maybe 2 or 3. Says, hey, you got to check the races out down there. It's on. It's I hadn't watched a race in a long time. The nationals or nothing. I hadn't been to a national event in 15 years till last year in the Seattle race. And when I saw that on BangShift and how cool the car, I love the older cars. I really love the gassers and those kind of things, and the nitro funny cars and dragsters. I mean, I love front engine dragsters. I always wanted to drive one. I never got the opportunity to. But so I said to my kid, if we're going to do this after the BangShift thing, I said, that's a hell of a deal they got on that computer. I mean, I can't tell you how many, when I told my friends about that, all the racers uptown, in our area, everybody loved that BangShift episode. I mean, it's real, it's just cool. It's real drag. It's guys that are down here in the pits talking about drag racing up on the camera up there talking, and they know what they're talking about, and it's really cool. I mean, I enjoyed it very much, put it that way, and I sat in front of that for a long time. I saw the injected fuel cars, and I was in trouble from that minute on, and that's how good of a TV show it is. So, yeah.
And you're running a Ford?
We are running a 429 Boss Ford. This is a motor combination that my dad was developing when, towards the end of our racing career, the last few races, I don't know, the last 6 months or year even of our alcohol funny car, we were running parts that we had built in like early 90s, and reason for that is we needed to either update our stuff because our stuff we were running was getting very old, and we always stayed ahead of the game when it came to cylinder heads and cylinder head flow, and always developing new things. So my dad had this in the works and was developing it, this Ford, because we were going to race again the next year, and well, we got a phone call saying it wasn't legal, and we tried to talk about it and get some help and get some understanding of why we were doing this, and it would be good to have an alternative motor in the sport as far as a Ford compared to a Chrysler, Chevy, they're all in there, except for a Ford. And so my dad ran one on the dyno for a guy a few years prior, and he really liked some things he saw and how it responded to what he was doing to it. And so he says he got looking into it more, and he called up John Rodek, a good friend of his, and said, hey, can you build me a block? I want this Ford 429 Boss block. And yeah. And we knew that there was going to be a few issues with it as far as the bore centers and things like that. But they've always been responsive to those kind of things, especially when there's really no competitive advantage over it at all. Guys are running 4.5-inch bores now.
It's a number.
Yeah, it's a number. So he did get the okay from some people, and then all of a sudden they came back and said, we can't allow it. And he was into it about 50 grand, and so he had the blocks finished. There's only 5 of these blocks ever made, and he got some cylinder heads going, got those developed the way he wanted them to, and that's when they got the phone call and the confirmation that they weren't going to let us run it. So it's been sitting for 15 years. So he said, okay, we're going to do this. There's a couple fellows at home on the Pro Mod that wanted to run it too, so they're really smart guys and engineers and those kind of things that could finish the development of the block and the camshaft and all the things that needed to be finished as far as that goes. And they did a good job with it, working with my dad on a lot of stuff, and they went out and ran it in the Pro Mod, and we put it in our dragster, and here we are. So quite a turn of events after 15 years, but I'm glad we're getting to utilize it. It's not that much of a waste of money now. He just, he had to throw 50 grand away for a while, and it was more than that eventually. But he got it back now with us using it, so that makes us feel better. And it's been an awesome experience. It's not something that you can, come out here and you're going to find the things wrong with it before you get to the end result. And we've found some things wrong and some things that we were doing wrong, and it's been really a pleasure. This thing is really coming along. I'm real excited about it. And the thing that's cool about it is nobody else has one. So that's how I used being raced alcohol. We always had something nobody else had. Can't do that anymore. And to me, innovation is what created drag racing and what took drag racing into the 60s and 70s. And really the neat stuff, the snake and Garlits and Keith Black and Ed Pink and all those big names that created all the, the path for us and how
Everything we got now.
everything that we got now, and there's a lot, not just those guys, there's a lot of guys out there that were really innovative, and thank God they were, because they got us to this point.
Well, welcome back. It's great to have you.
Well, thank you, and root us on.
You were sure out at drag races for a long time.
Yeah.
What, was it to go raise your family, and what else did you do?
That was the main reason, was to raise my family. We've been racing for a long time, and it seems like a long time, but you look at some other drivers or race teams, they've been out here 25, 30 years. We raced real hard for 15 years and was gone every weekend just about, chasing points in the points races and the nationals and a little bit of match racing. And we raced really hard, and when I got married, things changed for me a little bit. I wasn't, for a lot of years I thought I was invincible, playing football and driving a race car. And when I met my wife and got serious with her, and then when the news came that my wife was pregnant, some things really changed for me. And I wanted to raise my kids just like my mom and dad raised us, and that was, sit down dinners every night and involved in schools and sports and in the community and anything we could do to be involved in that. We went to junior wrestling, cheerleading camps, a lot of football camps and baseball camps, and I wouldn't have missed it. I just couldn't afford to miss any of that. That was really a fun experience, and I wanted to be there for my family, and we did, and my kids did everything we asked them to do. And my son one day says, hey, I really want to race, and he's always bugged me about that, but he got serious, and I thought to myself, well, maybe it's time. He's out of school, and he's done everything we asked. He's done a good job, and he's a good kid, and I wanted to go do this as a family, the same as my dad did with us, my mom and dad did with us. So it's kind of a deja vu all over again, because this is like when my dad got us racing. It's the same kind of thing, obviously a different class and stuff, but the young driver thing, and everybody working on the car together, and my wife and my daughter really love to come to the races. And
what got you to pick this class?
My experience, we were my personal experience with the alcohol car and all the things my dad taught me mechanically and how to run an alcohol car. And then when we were racing the fuel car, we went through a few crew chiefs and things like that, and I got to the point where I started, being accountable for how the car was running, let's say. And I learned a lot there. We didn't win a world championship, but we won the U.S. Nationals, we won the World Finals, we won Indy, and we won the Englishtown race, 5 races in 5 years. Not exactly superior to me in my experience in alcohol, but there's a lot of guys that raced nitro for a long time and didn't win a race, so it's that tough of a class. But we competed with all the best guys, and so the nitro experience for me it's exciting to me, and I can't do it on a blown level, just too much cost in it for me. And so the injected nitro car was something that attracted me, and we're having a ball with it. It's fun. It's not something we're going to do every weekend, but when we do it, we're going to do it as a family together and have a good time. My brother's here helping us. He's great help, and it's just a lot of fun.